Hey there everyone, I'm Fox 10 News meteorologist Jennifer Lambers with an afternoon update on Hurricane Francine. And so we are keeping a close eye on this system. Just wanted to make sure everything is working there. In case you're just now joining us, we are live streaming on our Gulfstream apps. That's going to be on Roku, plus also our Fox 10 News app, and also on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So in case you're joining us again, we're keeping a close eye on Hurricane Francine as it continues to churn in the Gulf waters, approaching closer towards landfall in Louisiana, heading on into this afternoon and this evening. But let's check in on our local conditions here first. Here's a live view down in Orange Beach. It is rough out there. It is gray. It is gloomy, and still continuing to see more of those showers falling out there. Rough surf across the Gulf Coast. Here's the updated look at Hurricane Francine. At 10 a.m., the National Hurricane Center began issuing these advisories every hour. No major changes. Those sustained winds continue to stay at 90 miles per hour. If anything, the changes that we've been noticing is the movement northeast picking up even further speed, 17 miles per hour. It's moving faster, barreling towards that coastline there of Louisiana. And so looking at the updated path from the National Hurricane Center, they still have Francine making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane just a little bit heading into this afternoon and this evening. Now, don't be fooled by that 7 p.m. timestamp. It's not meaning that that landfall will be closer towards 7 p.m. Looking in closer, there we go. I'll try and show you just a little bit there. Expecting landfall possibly even closer towards the dinner time hour there as that Category 1 hurricane, 90 miles per hour once it approaches closer towards land. And here locally, let's talk more about our impacts. We are on the right side of this system. And so with that, it means that we're going to start to notice more of those impacts here locally. And so that is going to be including that tropical storm warning. And so with that tropical storm warning, we've actually noticed some areas that have been added to this. And so that's going to be closer towards Greene County, Mississippi, George County, Mississippi, Mobile, and Baldwin counties, along with Mobile Bay and our offshore waters. That just means that we're going to be seeing more of those tropical storm conditions and those winds closer towards those areas. Now, we do have a tornado watch in effect for some portions across the Gulf Coast. And if you're in Jackson County, Mississippi, then you likely got this update. But something to note here, the areas that are included in this, that National Weather Service office is located in Slidell, Louisiana. Our local National Weather Service office in Mobile, located at Mobile Regional Airport, they've only put our offshore waters in this tornado watch so far, but they are in talks with SPC about including us in a watch later on this afternoon or this evening that will take us into the overnight hours. So that's the reason why we're not included in this tornado watch, even though we are expecting the potential for us to see some of those spin up tornadoes later on today. Now I'm about to go through a lot of different advisories and some warnings that we have in place. Local National Weather Service office has been busy just issuing some of these. So you might have gotten some of those notifications on your phone. That first one is going to be that coastal flood warning in effect heading into tonight into tomorrow afternoon. That significant coastal flooding is expected. We have storm surge mixed with that rain that we're going to be experiencing. And once Francine continues to push further inland, closer towards central to northern Mississippi, it's going to be introducing this southerly flow, so these winds out of the south. And so if you've noticed sometimes how Mobile Bay is influenced by these winds, whenever we have a northerly wind, then we notice that the Mobile Bay area, the water is pretty low. Whenever it's out of the south, it's pretty high. It's sucking up all of that moisture and that bay water, and this is what we're going to be experiencing. So that southerly flow plus mixed with a high tide on Thursday morning at 6:30. And so we are really just creating the perfect conditions for our causeway to close on Thursday morning. So do keep that in mind for all your Bayway commuters. Thursday morning, you will likely see those delays and impacts. For the areas that are not included in that coastal flood warning, we do have that advisory closer towards the Florida Panhandle and our coastal waters. And then we also have a high surf warning. That just means that those wave heights, they're high out there. It is rough across the Gulf Coast. Those waves are seeing about the 6 to 10 foot height just offshore. Closer towards the shoreline, we're seeing more of that 4 to 6 foot range. Just a reminder, our local beaches, the water's closed out there. It's rough. That rip current risk is high today, tomorrow, and Friday. And it's only going to continue even in the wake of Francine. Please stay out of the water at our local beaches. Just a reminder, some of our beaches aren't flying some of those flags out there, but it's still closed. Please keep yourself and others safe by not getting into the water at this point. I want to talk more about those winds that we're expecting later on for this afternoon and this evening. And we're going to be starting to notice more of those tropical storm force winds. Whoops, I got to stop it here. We're expecting more of those tropical storm force winds later on this evening. So by 8 and 9 o'clock, we start to see more of that pushing in closer towards coastal Mississippi. Mobile, Baldwin counties beginning to see those wind gusts getting over 40 miles per hour. Even look at that, Bay Minette showing that 50 mile per hour wind gust closer towards midnight, only continuing into the evening time hours. So the main takeaway from this is that it's going to be windy heading into tonight. Make sure you already have those precautions in place. If you have any of that outdoor furniture, go ahead and bring it inside. If you have flags out there, umbrellas, take them down. Fall, Halloween decorations, I've been seeing some of those cute inflatables outside. Go ahead, deflate them. Make sure that you're not waking up tomorrow and you can't find them. My trash day is tomorrow. I will not be putting out my trash can tonight. Go ahead and save that for tomorrow morning if you're able to, just because you don't want to lose any of that. Those winds will continue heading into tomorrow morning, even though we might start to see some of our rain activity subside to start off for your Thursday. It's still going to be breezy out there. We won't notice those winds beginning to calm down until tomorrow afternoon. Now, there is a wind advisory in effect for many portions across the Gulf Coast, but if you notice, Mobile, Baldwin County and our Mississippi counties are left out. The reason for that is that tropical storm warning. We're expecting more of those tropical storm force winds. However, some areas, mainly included in that wind advisory for those 40 mile per hour wind gusts, some of those could even be higher. So just make sure that regardless of where you are, you're going ahead, tying down things that are located outdoors or bringing them inside. Let's time things out pretty quickly here on your Futurecast. And so we start off for this afternoon. We get closer towards this evening, 4 and 5 o'clock. We start to notice more of that moderate to heavy rainfall beginning to push in. And then we'll really begin to experience those rain bands closer towards 7 and 8 o'clock that have more of those tropical storm force winds within them. The tornado threat that we're looking at will be more once we start to see some of these rain bands pushing in later on tonight after sunset. And so look towards midnight and 2 a.m. More of those rain bands begin to push in closer towards the Florida Panhandle and our inland counties. Very heavy rainfall, gusty winds with that embedded tornado threat too. If you caught it not too long ago, I had mentioned that we could possibly see some drier conditions to start off for our Thursday. One reason why Francine is possibly not reaching that Category 2 hurricane strength anymore is because it's expected to interact with some dry air. And that's what it looks like right there. If it does start to interact with that dry air, it's going to be leading us to be a bit more dry to start off with tomorrow morning. Even seeing some peaks of sunshine between the cloud cover to begin your Thursday. Still breezy out there, but we could possibly see less of that rain activity. Now, just a reminder, we do have that tornado risk heading into this evening. And so just make sure that you stay weather aware, have a way to get those alerts, have a way to get those warnings in case any of those are issued. Always make sure that you download our Fox 10 weather app. That way you can live stream our coverage and know if you're located in one of those warnings. With this too, double check to make sure that your devices are fully charged. Power outages are possible with any storm that we experience, even those summertime ones. It doesn't take much to knock off a tree limb onto a power line. So double check that everything's charged heading into this evening, especially with those breezy conditions. And closer towards the coastline, we've already been experiencing some of that rain since this morning. The soil is already pretty saturated, so it won't take that much of a wind gust to help just knock over one of those trees if those roots are already slipping in the soil. So do keep that in mind heading into this evening. That's really going to be the biggest precautions. Have a way to get those alerts. Make sure you bring in everything inside that could easily be blown away, and double check that your devices are charged. Even have some of those backup power banks if you have any of them that are charged too. My other takeaway from all of this and just heading into this evening, just try and stay off the roadways. If you're able to pick up your kids from school, head home from work, just try and pick up dinner, cook something inside, and then have a movie night, have a game night inside. Just make sure you're staying alert with the forecast, but just try not to be on the roadways if you don't have to late tonight, just because the visibility is going to be low. We're going to be experiencing some of those winds and also some of that heavy rain. So if you're able to be off the roads, please do so. Now, we're going to continue to keep you updated. I will have additional updates coming up not too long from now. I'm going to leave you with this view of Hurricane Francine and that strength that we're tracking. We will have additional updates. We're gearing up right now for Fox 10 Live beginning at 3 p.m. So we hope to see you guys there. We actually changed things up today. Fox 10 Live is going to be a full hour instead of half an hour. So we'll be live with our Fox 10 coverage beginning at 3 o'clock through 6 o'clock with additional hourly updates coming up to you later on this evening until we get closer towards Fox 10 News at 9. As always, you can send us any of those messages to our Fox 10 Facebook page if you have any questions for us. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to see some of your comments here. But in case you do have any of those questions for us, please just feel free to drop them below there. Thank you everyone for sticking with Fox 10 heading into this afternoon and this evening. We'll work hard to keep you updated. Just stay safe out there. Again, we'll keep you updated with everything you need to know.